y'all taken care of for the night. Hold on, ma'am. Show some patience, will you? That's for you. That's for your little one. Be sure you share. Good night, girls. Oops. Good night, Nina. Good night, Penny. I have to put something in front of their door because they be trying to break out. And Zeke, well, he's always out. And he wants my help getting back in. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to help him today. Zeke, you be doing too much. You're gonna have to wait on your pops to get you in, bud. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait. Yep, that's yours. And guess what? You can't get it. You know why you can't get it? Because you're always breaking out. I shouldn't be so nice to you. I shouldn't be so nice to you. You always busting down my fence and my gate. I shouldn't be so nice. But look at me being nice to you all the time. What you've done to your head trying to break out of stuff. Look at your horns. Let me see what's left in here. Here. I don't know why I'm so nice to Zeke. He tears up everything. He has torn up his house. I know. He's torn up his house. He busts out of the gate. He runs and leaps over the fence. He's something else. Look at your horns. You've destroyed them, breaking out of stuff. You've been filing them all down and everything. So I guess I'll stand here and look after Zeke. I know it's good. All right, you all. So here we are. Another hurricane, right? Another hurricane is approaching and will be making landfall within a few hours in the state of Florida. A lot of people are still dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. These mosquitoes are really terrible. A lot of people are still dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, right? So imagine now, right behind Helene, especially in Florida, there's another one on the way. Now we're dealing with Hurricane Milton. And that storm, you all, is going to be so tremendous, so powerful, that they are doing mandatory evacuations. Mandatory, not optional, evacuations. Now, will everybody evacuate? Probably not. We always hear later about some people who didn't bother to evacuate, as though history has not proven that when storms like this approach, it's best to get out of the way, right? Instead of trying to ride it out and say, I'll make it through. We hear that so many times, and time after time, we hear the tragic end of it all. So for those of you who had to evacuate, I hope that you are okay. I hope you found a safe place to ride out this storm. However, there are so many that did not have to evacuate. But you are in a position where you need to be safe and hunker down, and hopefully you have the supplies that you need to get you through the next several days, because more than likely, if that storm makes landfall as a major hurricane, more than likely you will probably be without power for some days, okay? Now listen, For those of you who are not in the path of this storm, for those of you who are not in any immediate danger of any storm, maybe Hurricane Milton is not coming your way, but we live in areas where we could be impacted by hurricanes, right? Just like us here in Georgia. You know, when a hurricane is coming towards Florida, especially on the west side, look, we have to be on guard too, because hurricanes travel great distances, as we can see with Helene. Even though she was no longer a hurricane, she still did a lot of damage, right? She still did a lot of damage. So just because we are inland, that doesn't mean that we won't feel tremendous impacts from these storms. So we too have to be on guard for hurricanes, especially when they're coming into the Gulf, especially on the western side of Florida, or just coming straight up even through Alabama, um, well, primarily Alabama and Florida, because if it does come from, I don't know, Louisiana, Mississippi, we're probably going to get a lot of rain and maybe some winds, but it won't be as strong as if it were coming straight up for us through maybe like Tallahassee area, coming straight for us in Florida, right? In Georgia. But anyway, you all, I want to talk to those of you who may not be directly in the path of this storm. One of the things that Mr. H and I really try to convey to you all is to try to be as prepared as you can for whatever situation, right? For whatever situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a major hurricane. But we always try to encourage you to have at least a 3-month supply of food and water and other supplies on hand in case of an emergency like this, right? In case of an emergency, you all. And many of you know that I always mention AZURE Standard. I am so glad that they sponsor some of our videos now, because it allows me to continue to share more and more with you all about where you can go if you don't can like me. If you don't can like Mrs. H, well, what can you go to just get good foods? And they do have good organic food. So if you buy canned goods, if you buy canned green beans, if you buy canned carrots or peas or whatever, if you buy canned vegetables and you want to buy them by the cases, by the bulk, and in bulk, and you want them organically, then please, I'm going to leave the information in the description box below so that you can go on over to AZURE Standard and start buying your canned goods in bulk. Just start buying them cases at a time, you all, until you build up enough of a supply to sustain you and your family for at least 90 days. And I know that sounds like, it sounds a bit overwhelming, you know, but if you start now, you don't have to buy it all at once. But if you start right now, then where will you be in 90 days if you are consistently building up a 90-day supply? Okay? Now, listen, I prefer to can my foods, but I'm not afraid to go and buy it either, though. If it's something that I need that I don't have and I need it, I do not mind buying it, right? And many of you have seen me at our AZURE Standard drops, and I'm picking up my items in bulk, just like many of you are picking up your items in bulk. And many of us who have been shopping with AZURE for any length of time, we all can kind of attest to the fact that it comes in hand. When we need it, it's there. When we need it, it's there. So listen, start now building up your 90-day supply, you all. Start now building up your 90-day supply. I'm saying start with some canned goods if you're not a person who is canning. Many of you have said, Mrs. H, I have a canner, but I'm afraid to use it. I have not yet gotten over my fear of canning, so I don't use it, right? I don't use it. Somebody has probably the Cadillac of canners, which is that all-American canner, and all you've done was look at it and then you put it back in the box and shoved it back in a closet or shoved it in the garage somewhere, but you've never taken it out again because you are afraid to use it, so you don't have any canned items. So if that's you, until you are ready to pull out your canner and start canning your own foods, there's no harm in buying them in bulk, okay? No harm in buying the canned goods in bulk, okay, you all? The important thing here is to start building up a 90-day supply. Well, Mrs. H, if a hurricane comes and washes it all away, well, what good is it? Well, so what if it comes and washes it all away? At least you got it. At least you could say you had it. But what if it don't come and wash it all away? That's not excuse enough to not have a supply on hand for an emergency situation. Hi,
Yes.
Mr. H.
Hey, how you doing?
That is not an
How y'all doing?
excuse to not have a supply on hand because you think a storm is going to come and wash it away. All right? No, if the storm come wash it away, that's out of your control. But you do what is within your control, which is to start building up that 90-day supply. So you all, again, I'm going to leave that information in the description box below so that you can go ahead, use our link. If you're new, you're going to be saving some money, 15% off of your first order, okay? So please, you all, take advantage of these opportunities when they come so that you can have what you need when you need it, right? We hear it all the time. It's better to have and not need than to need and not have.
That's right.
All right, you all. So I just wanted to come on and say that to you all really, really quick because it is so important. We've had Helene to do a lot of it's been so many hurricanes, but just recently, Helene and Milton, and that's not the end. There are more storms coming.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man, they coming.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it's wise to go ahead and prepare ahead of time.
It is.
You know, that's the best thing. That's the best thing we can do because, you know, these storms coming back to back, and you know, it's always good to be ahead of the, I guess you can say, the 8-ball.
That's
really
right.
The storm.
Yeah.
You know, these
That's
things
right.
are getting real serious.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the
That's
only
right.
thing that we can do in our defense, right?
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So y'all, I think that's gonna do it. I just wanted to come on again because I know that this storm is getting ready to make landfall here in a few hours. Ryan Hall over on his channel, Ryan Hall, y'all, he's going live to give you real-time updates as to what's happening in Florida with Hurricane Milton. I know that Weatherman Plus, Mark over there, he's always giving updates as well on what's going on with this hurricane. So y'all just tune in and stay aware of what's going on. But most importantly, if you haven't done so, start preparing.
Yes.
Start building up your 90-day supply. Go to AZURE Standard and get whatever canned goods that you enjoy eating. If you buy canned, buy them. Buy your family's favorites, okay? And go ahead and start getting those put away for a day like what we've been having with these last few hurricanes, okay?
Yes.
All right, you all, that's going to do it. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Please share this information and keep everybody in your prayers. Everybody is suffering and going through so much, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. There's nothing, well, like, for example, there's nothing you can do as far as stopping the storms from coming. You can't stop those, right? All you can do, as my brother said Sunday, is get out of the way.
That's it. That's the only thing you can do.
All
Get
you
out
can
the
do
way.
is get out of the way.
Get out of
right?
the way, and then if you see it coming ahead of time, like she
Move.
said, get your 90-day worth of food preps.
Yeah.
And move out the way.
And that's a good thing. You know, that's probably the one benefit to a hurricane is that you know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Right? I think Mark over at Weatherman Plus, I think he was giving this information out like a week or so ago. Like,
Yeah.
even when Helene was coming, he was warning that there was something else developing. So he was warning like way ahead of time to let you know, hey, keep your eye on this.
Yes.
And so if you keep your eye on these things and you can kind of get an idea of which direction they're coming, now you got a little bit of time to grab your goods and your family and get out of the way.
Get out of the way. That's all we can do, y'all.
Get out of the way.
That's all we can do.
Yeah, and pray for one another.
Yeah, pray for one another. 90-day food preps.
Yeah. And
get out the way.
Don't forget the water.
Yeah, we got to have the water.
And if you got pets, don't forget them either. Okay? All right, y'all, that's going to do it. Y'all, we'll keep you all in our prayers, especially those of us who are really dealing with these storms, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank y'all for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you, and we will see y'all in the next video.
Peace.